Guys, what is up? Hope everybody has been having a great day. Super happy to be back with another golf vlog. Today we're at Keith Hills Golf Club. It's a really nice little course located by Campbell University, pretty much in the middle of North Carolina. Whenever I go down to work with my long drive coach, this is definitely a course I like to go to a lot to keep my game sharp. We're gonna be playing the orange course in this vlog. I'm gonna try to play as many nines as I can, so we'll see how many nines we get in, yeah, we'll have some fun. And if you guys enjoy this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to keep pumping these videos out as long as you guys keep enjoying them. So that being said, let's get into it. All right guys, here's hole 1, 400 yards. Basically just want to put it out there short of that bunker on the left, about 250, and we're going to be hitting a 4-iron. See if we get this round off to a good start. Alright, so here's where we ended up, just a little bit right, but not a bad miss by any means. And pin is 155 yards away. And I actually saw a sprinkler head that said it was like 145 in the middle. So this pin is back, way back there. So 155, it's a pretty hot day. So it's gonna be going pretty far, I think. So I'm gonna take a pretty good knockdown of a 48-degree wedge, kind of just try to keep it from getting away from me and chase it up to the pin. Pretty cool little shot driving up this first hole. Definitely nice little view here. You guys can see as we're driving up. We got, let's see, looks like we got about 20 feet. So that's what we got left. So this is where we landed. Ended up right there. So pretty good speed. I mean, sorry, pretty good distance rather. Got about 25-30 feet. So let's see if we can get this round started off with a nice little 3. Not a bad starting hole, a little short on that putt, but yeah, these greens can be a little grainy sometimes, so you sometimes gotta give it a pretty good run. So I didn't quite do that there, but they have a pretty good read, so that's a good sign. On to the next hole, hole 2, 558 yard par 5. Keep hitting 2-iron right at that little V right there. And I'll also hit driver for you guys. The reason I don't like to hit 2-iron on this, the reason I don't like to hit driver in this hole is it gets a little bit tight. It's OB right and left, so you pretty much have to hit a great drive. It's just not quite worth it for me, so we'll send driver anyway and see where it ends up. Alright guys, so here's my 2-iron pitch mark right there, and you guys can actually see my driver. I did fit it between the trees. See it up there in the left center. So I have about 280 left here, so I can definitely get home in 2 here as long as the wind cooperates with the 2-iron. And we'll check once after I hit my shot. We'll go up and I'll kind of show you guys how far I had in, and you know, what I might do is honestly just play it too. You guys can see kind of the differences and how those two strategies play. So we've got 280 left, 2-iron. We should be able to get there. We'll see. Yeah, see if we hit a good shot. Guys, here's where my driver ended up. We got 225 left. And that 2-iron, the one I just hit, I striped that. That was just right at the pin. Don't know if it got there, couldn't quite tell, but it's gonna be pretty close to the green at least, so that's a pretty good shot. As for this shot, 225, probably gonna go with a 6-iron here, and just kind of let it fade in from the left. Also, I actually had a long drive session this morning with my coach, so if I look a little winded and tired, that might be why. But yeah, so we're hitting a 6-iron. The other one I had a 2-iron, so it kind of shows you guys the difference. And yeah, we'll hit it and see where they end up. Alright guys, so I pulled that 6-iron a little bit left. It was pin high. So my 2-iron is actually in that bunker, so I think there's a little bit of wind up there that I'm not quite noticing, but still not a bad leave. And so we'll see if we can splash that out and see if we can get up and down. Alright guys, I just want to interject here because that's actually something that's pretty important that just happened there. And I'm glad I got like a really good close-up view of it. So you guys saw how that ball kicked almost dead left. So that is all because of grain. So it landed into that grain and it kicked that way. So when you have southern courses with Bermuda, you know, other types of very strong grain, the ball is really going to be affected by how that grain is sloping. If it's sloping back at you, it's going to kind of kick it back, and if it's sloping down, the ball's going to tend to skid a little bit before it stops. So those are just things to keep in mind, you know, when you're playing southern courses. It doesn't really apply that much, you know, in northern courses. So just something to keep in mind. All right, so that was a bit of a disappointing putt there. Honestly, just it's a little weak on the stroke there, and you know, just kind of snapped right on me, much more than I anticipated. But it is what it is. On hole 3, 160 yards. Gonna be hitting a pitching wedge. Alright guys, so a little bit long, but still a pretty decent shot. Got about probably maybe 25 feet, and actually this is a good point here to bring up. So remember the hole before I was talking about into the grain, down grain? So this was down grain, and you can really see, even with that being a wedge, how far that ball kind of like skipped before it kind of grabbed and started spinning. And you can, I don't know if this will show up on the camera, but I'll try to show you guys what I mean, how to determine if it's in the grain or down grain. So can you guys see this area right here, how it's darker? So darker grain means it's growing into you, so it's going to tend to break a little more. It's also going to tend to be a little bit slower and a little sharper on receiving bounces. If you see bright grass, it's down grain. It's going to break less typically, and it'll kind of run a little more. So it's a great thing to keep in mind when you're playing southern courses. It's a huge factor. You really got to home in on that to really get the most out of it. So just something to keep in mind. You know, just trying to give you guys tips as I play, and while make this as informative as I can, entertaining. And yeah, got about 25 feet. Let's see if we can make it. Guys, so not the best putt, but again, you guys saw me kind of do a bit of a double pump there because I was on that fringe and that grain was actually going right against my stroke, so it kind of distracted me a little bit, but still got a 2-putt out of it. On hole 4, now this is going to be an interesting hole for you guys. So you got 320 yards to the pin. You can see it in the right side there. Now this green is extremely difficult if you get close to it, but not on it. What I mean is it's very small and hard to hold, so if you don't spin. So it's kind of a really sneaky little hole. I would highly recommend hitting a 7-iron like what I'm about to hit, laying back to maybe 100 yards out and then taking the wedge. But we'll hit a 2-iron, go for it as well, so you guys can see the difference where I end up from different shots. And we'll see kind of how it all shakes out. So let's see what happens. So I got a little close here, only have 76 yards left, so I hit that like 220, 230, that really took off. You can actually see right up here, I don't know if you can make it out, but that's where my 2-iron went. Caught that a little heavy, probably only went about 280, 290. But you'll be able to, what you'll see is that the fact that I can spin this a little bit will make a big difference. Up there, it's tougher to spin. So I'm gonna need more of the green, and I might get away with it here because the pin is in the back. So we'll see how it plays out, but I have 77 yards left here, and I'm gonna be hitting a 58-degree wedge. And here's my 2-iron. You can see really how close OB does come if you go for the green. So that's my ball. You can see where my lob wedge is, right at the top of that. So that's not a bad shot at all. And you can see here, we're left with a pretty tough shot. We do have enough room, thankfully, to run it up. But you can imagine if you miss there or there, how tough it can get. So let's try to run this up and see if we can get it close. So pretty similar putts here. The first ball is the one a little bit higher right there. So, but yeah, I mean, we did end up pretty similar spots, but again, I took a lot less risk with the shorter shot, and so the risk reward probably isn't that worth it unless maybe you need an eagle. I would say this is your last hole and you were 1 down or 2 down and you needed an eagle. I would say probably a good idea, but typically aggressive plays will result in more par breakers, which means birdies are better, but they're also going to bring in a disproportionate amount of bogeys or worse. So it depends. You just kind of got to see where you are with your tournament or whatever, and then kind of go from there. So yeah, we'll see if we can make this 15-20 footer for birdie. Alright, so that was a really solid hole there. Really nice putt, nice to make one go in, so that feels pretty good. So now we're on hole 5, 377 yard par 4. Gonna be hitting a 4-iron right at that little tree in the center of the camera there. And yep, just try to bring it in from the right. Hey guys, so pretty solid shot there. Definitely the play on this hole. It's just a tough hole to get to when you're hitting from a tee that doesn't let you really play cut. So walking up to it now, and gonna have about 125 yards left. Gonna be hitting a 52-degree wedge and see if we can hit it close. Alright guys, so decent shot. I pulled it a little bit, but pretty much perfect distance. And honestly, I really love seeing perfect distance control. That's always the big question, is can my distance control be solid? So that was nice to see. Really, just really nice shot there. Good flow to the swing. So hitting it pretty well right now. So got about 15-20 feet here. If you guys look, you can tell, because most of the grain is dark, it's going to be down grain, because keep in mind this is facing into it. So we're facing into the grain, so the opposite, which is the putt we're hitting across the hole, is going to be down grain. So it's going to be pretty quick, and definitely something to keep in mind. Guys, so left it a little bit short, but I'm definitely glad I didn't give that the run I was trying to, because that would have really gotten away from me. So it's always good to keep an eye on the green. That's the story there. So on hole 5, 530 yard par 5, gonna be hitting a cut with the driver right up Main Street. So missed a little bit right, got 184 to the pin right there, and we do have a gap, so just hit a bit of a fade under and around those trees. So 184, I'm thinking probably some kind of punch 5-iron, really just try to get it working left to right pretty hard. And yeah, just goal here is just to get it around the green, give ourselves an easy look at up and down. Well, unfortunately, I topped it a little bit. Just couldn't quite get the club on the way I wanted to. There was a root about 6 feet in front of the ball that I was honestly a little spooked about hitting. Sorry for the camera falling there. That I was honestly a little spooked about hitting, so I kind of got on top of it too much. But we're still fine. We're right next to the 100-yard marker, so gonna be hitting a 50-degree wedge. See if we can get it close. Alright, so not gonna lie, bit of a mediocre shot there. Definitely not the length of a birdie putt that we would like on a shorter par 5, but we still have a look at birdies, so let's give it a run, see if we can make it. So definitely a bit of a disappointing hole there. Would have definitely loved to take a little better advantage, but not gonna have your best hole at the time, so that's just how it goes. Now on hole 7, 200-yard par 3 with an 8-iron. See if you can take it right at the pin. Alright guys, so a little bit short, but I am on the putting green. I was between a 7 and an 8, and I took an 8. Should have taken a 7, that would have pretty much been pin high, but we are on the low side of the pin, so that definitely makes it a little easier to try to 2-putt. So got about a 35-40 footer, so let's see if we can make a good roll. Alright guys, that was a really solid lag putt. Definitely not a bad par there. Probably the hardest hole on the front, on the orange course. So now on hole 8, 393 yards, par 4. Give Gonna be taking a 4-iron just right of those group of trees there and give ourselves a wedge in. Hey guys, I got 138 left. You can see pins out in the front part there, so definitely a pretty solid leave here. 138 right at the corner of this dog leg, so give you hitting a 48-degree wedge, see if we can hit it close. Alright guys, so a really good shot here. Flighted it nicely, and yeah, pretty solid result. So, and I mean, that's why it's so important to know how to play the course and plod your way around. There really is no point in taking the big stick out and trying to cut the corner, because the easiest way to do it is take the high percentage shot with the 4-iron, leave a wedge in my hands, and hit a good wedge shot. So we got about 10-12 feet left. Let's see if we can make our 3. Guys, so another really great hole, solid 3 there all around, just really solid. So I'm happy with how I'm playing today so far. So here on 9, about 420, so the goal is to hit it a 4-iron at that bridge. But as you guys may see, there's water and then the second fairway. So we're gonna have a little fun. I'm gonna hit my 4-iron, and then we're gonna hit our driver. It's about 320 to cover it. I think we can get it, so let's see. We're gonna hit both shots and see where they end up. Alright guys, so here's where the ball ended up. Really solid shot there. Now the driver was awesome, so it made it. I hit a perfect cut shot. It landed around that car path there. We'll go up and see where it ended up, but that was awesome. That felt pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. So we have 180 left. Gonna be hitting a 9-iron. Hey guys, this is where my driver ended up. So you can see, covered the water pretty good there. So that was pretty insane. Unfortunately, I dumped my approach shot into the sand. So let's see if we can get up and down. Alright guys, so a bit of a disappointing finish there. Would have liked to have gone bogey free for you guys, but you know what, I almost did, and just missed a 4.5 footer at the end that just didn't quite strike right. But all in all, pretty solid round of golf. 1 under 35, so I'm really liking how I'm striking it. I'm really feeling solid, making a few good putts too, so that is definitely a good sign. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time.